Hey everybody, it is August 12th, 2007. I am Sonic Sons, and I'm doing a video on what I call the Undying Community, or the ideal of it anyway. This is brought about by Peri's recent videos about glasses. Do you like my new glasses, Mr. Netto, and do you like my new glasses, Mr. Netto? In the first of which, Peri, you say, you know, that the community is fractured and splintering and people are fading away, and the next one where you say, I've been a fool, and there is a community, it's you and me talking right here. And you know, I look back through some of your old videos, and I've noticed a real pattern of ambivalence towards YouTube. You know, you had the big secret sucks way back when you said, you know, the profit-sharing thing was going to mess things up. Can YouTube survive? Another negative one. No one's making videos anymore. But then you made a positive one where you said thank you to everybody, maybe people who liked your E-Nation idea, etc. Then you said, oh, is it just a video warehouse? Another negative. And then you said, you guys, thank you, you know, the positive response to that. And then we had another negative with the new glasses and a positive with the new glasses. And I think you're not alone in this. A lot of people don't know where exactly things are going. People who like to think big on these things anyway. You know, I know you and I, we share big ideas. You know, we both love this E-Nation idea that you started, of really taking community to the next level. And in many ways, that's not happening. E-Nation, for instance, and I guess I'll post this video up on E-Nation. There's less than 10 of us, as far as I know, that are still around. And it's like, wow, that failed, you might say. You, specifically, you know, say things like that. The grand experiment has failed. You know, I don't think it really can fail. It can fail for a time. It can stumble and fall. But we still have community. We still, you know, we know other people out on the internet here, and we talk to each other, we exchange ideas. The fact that anybody is talking about E-Nation is a good sign in and of itself. You know, and both you and I would like to see it go much further. You know, if E-Nation, 1,000 people, not just our own project, E-Nation, but just things like it. Real community. People like, you know, I don't know. Like, you could just go on the internet and be like, hey, I need to borrow $10. And there's enough of a community that you can actually be able to do that. You know, just borrowing it from the community. You know, like we actually act together. Like, we actually do things. Like, we start up movements. We start up, you know, I remember you doing the OneTube project, which I believe was the first place I ran into you. And so we'd all get together and try and help one person, and then that being done, we'd help another person. That kind of splintered, and that, you know, people drift away easier on the internet because there's less friction to it. And that is to say, friction just being things which kind of get in the way of change. For instance, if there's someone physically living next to you in your community, well, it takes quite a lot of effort for that person to leave physically. They'd have to sell their house, and they'd have to do all these other things. And on the internet, it doesn't take any effort at all. You just don't go to a certain website anymore, and suddenly you're gone, you know. And that can be rather depressing for us. We have these friends that are just gone all of a sudden. We don't even know how to contact them. That's it. Never hear from them again, you know. And I can see how that would easily lead into thoughts that, like, none of this is permanent, and none of this is real, and none of this is... But, you know, just as quickly as we lose people, we find people. And there's a thing you also don't find in the real community. It's hard to physically meet people as fast as you can do on the internet. You know, I've got my own 42 subscribers. No, wait, 43 now. You know, these people, most of which I don't know in real life, and people whom I didn't actually specifically go out to meet. You know, I didn't like search for somebody and then say, please subscribe to me. I just made my stuff, and someone happened to bump into my stuff, and someone happened to like it, and someone happened to know this person, and now you know, and things start developing. And, you know, I'm a great believer in slow snowball effects. You know, a little thing, and it comes into a bigger, bigger, and eventually does something. Or ripple effects, you might call them. More often you call them that. you know, so long as humans want to communicate with each other, so long as we have any desire to have a community, we'll have some form of community. And I think the community will slowly, and with rather a great amount of missteps, but nevertheless, almost inexorably develop. I don't know how long it'll take, but it's happening. You know, I don't like this idea that we failed if we haven't reached a certain marker in this certain time. You know, because no, we haven't. Because we still have all our resources we started with. We still have each other. We still have all these videos. We still have the internet. We still have, you know, failure would be if the internet just kind of turned off one day. No more internet. Well, okay, that would pretty much kill the internet community. But setbacks, you know, slow progress. I mean, gee, isn't that how Wikipedia worked? You know, if you look at the graph they have up on Wikipedia, and they say, you know, how many articles they have at any given year, and wow, it was crawling for the longest time, and then went exponential. Now Wikipedia's a big deal, you know. In that respect, we're more similar to Linux right now, aren't we? You know, as to use another community-based thing. Because Linux, they've been working on it for quite a while now, but they've still only got like that 1% of the market. You know, they still only got like, I mean, except on server side, they have more percent, but you know what I mean. Like, they're just about as good as Windows. In some ways better, in some ways worse. And yet Windows has like all this momentum, and Linux seems to have nothing, you know. And the people keep asking, when is the revolution gonna come? Or however they phrase it. When is Linux just gonna take the desktop and overthrow Microsoft? And when, you know, people get frustrated with this. And I sense you get frustrated too. You know, I guess we all do in some ways. Because we feel this potential. We have these dreams. We have this, you know, imagine what we could do if we all worked together. And it takes longer than you think. This happens with every new technology. Television came along, and some people thought of this new revolution, where all our children could be taught by the world's greatest teachers just by watching a TV set. Which we technically still could kind of do, you know, particularly now with the internet, you can actually interact with said world-famous teachers or whatever. But, you know, TV became a lot of commercial stuff, and became a lot of, you know, vast wasteland was the phrase thrown around. That's not all of it a wasteland. Some of it's good. But, you know, people didn't quite get what they hoped for. It's hard to get what you hope for when you're hoping for infinity, you know? It's like, all we want are some freaking sharks with freaking lasers on their heads. We just... Come on, all I want is utopia. How hard is that? Which, of course, we'd be willing to settle for something less than utopia. And we're not even getting that far to that something less point. But we've got something.